Ooh. Wow. This looks so good. Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I love finding affordable ways to DIY a variety of things. Money can't buy everything, except maybe figures. I love collecting figures and recreating iconic scenes. Every figure deserved to shine on my display. So every week I ask myself the same question, and answer it by creating something I'm proud of. Join my weekly adventure by subscribing to my channel. Leave your feedback and suggestions down below. I often get inspired by your comments, and I hope I can inspire you too. Last week, I fixed the Winter Soldier figure to make him look less weird. The figure isn't perfect, but the end result wasn't that bad. Check it out if you haven't already. Today, I'm gonna work on Captain Marvel. This isn't my favorite look of hers. I prefer her look from her solo movie, but I didn't get the figure back then. So when they released this 2-pack along with Rescue and the Nano Gauntlet, I thought it'd be great to expand my Endgame collection. My early Marvel Legends videos were Endgame related. I made some dioramas for them. Check them out if you are interested. Back to Captain Marvel. Let's deconstruct this figure. The figure has a lot of molded details, but it's mostly red and blue with a bit of gold, so it ends up having this unpainted feel to it, especially her arms and hands. You can barely see the details, so I'm gonna bring out the molded details with some paint. My Captain Marvel came with a beauty mark. Otherwise, the face is pretty good. The hair though, it reminds me of Lego. It looks very plasticky. Overall, the figure seems to be screen accurate, but it has this unfinished / cheap feel to it. I'm gonna try my best to fix that. So, can I make it? This is me being nitpicky, but I don't like this purple blue. It's hard to tell the exact colors in the movie because the scenes she was in were really dark and she always had an aura around her. But according to the Hot Toys figure, she's more blue than purple. I don't have that exact shade of blue, so I'm going to use one that's similar instead, and go over all the purple areas with it. Now she looks even worse. But it's okay, I think I can fix this. I want the blue to look slightly metallic, so I'm going to apply a coat of glossy varnish over it first to make it more reflective. This will also add a bit of protection against minor scratches. Okay, the blue is shinier now. Next, I'm going to fill in some of the molded lines with black. This will add subtle contrast to the suit and break up some of the blue, especially on her belt. I'm also going to do the same to her boots, to bring out some of the molded details to give them more dimension. Alright, next, I'm going to mix myself a light gold color. The gold on this figure is a bit muted, and has a bit of green hue to it, so I can't just use the regular gold color. I managed to match the color pretty well, yay! This figure is lacking some gold details on various areas like her arms and legs. I can see that they are already molded onto the figure, just not painted. Adding them back in will make the figure look more complete, especially her hands. Speaking of hands, she's actually wearing fingerless gloves in the movie, so I'm gonna have to add her fingers back in later. Now it's time to work on the face. It looks quite like Brie Larson, but it has that unfinished feel to it, and I think it's all due to the hair. I did try to cover up the beauty mark, but it didn't really work. I want to keep the paint thin. I also added a bit of blush to her face, to give her face a bit more color, and darken her eyebrows slightly. Alright, time to make her hair look more natural. I'm gonna add some shading to the hair so it's not all yellow and has some more depth to it. Then I'm gonna finish it off by adding in some highlights. Alright, here's the finished head. The face is pretty similar, but the hair looks so much better. It's not as flat anymore. The entire head looks more 3D now. Before I put the head back on, let me work on the Nano Gauntlet. This is the best Marvel Legends Nano Gauntlet out of all the ones Hasbro has made. The paint app on it is so much better than the one on Thanos. It is missing some of the minor paint details, like the silver in between each finger joint and down the forearm. I'm also going to outline the Infinity Stones. This will make them pop just a bit more. Okay, next. I'm painting the areas above the knuckles gold. And I'm adding a bit of highlights onto the stones. And lastly, I'm going to apply a quick black wash over the gauntlet to further bring out the details. Okay, here it is. The changes are subtle, but I think they made the gauntlet that much better. It looks like the real deal now. Hey, you can now support me on Patreon. I post quite regularly there, from behind the scenes updates to sneak peeks to video breakdowns. Top tier members will receive a DIY 3D mini poster every month. These mini posters look great by themselves, but even cooler next to other mini posters. I love making things, and this is my way to thank my supporters. The link to my Patreon is in the description box down below. Alright, here's the finished figure. The figure looks so much more 3D now. The blue doesn't blend into itself, and it no longer looks unfinished due to the added details. I think it could have gone a shade darker with the blue, but Hot Toys also gave her a lightish blue. The biggest improvement has gotta be her hair. Her hair has layers now. Her belt is also much more defined too. The figure no longer has this cheap or unfinished look to it. What do you think? Do you like what I've done? Let me know down below. Montage time! Okay, the figure comes with 2 additional pairs of hands. But in my opinion, they don't look that natural. So unless she's holding the gauntlet, I'm gonna stick with her fisted hands. I did paint all the fingers off screen though. It took a couple of layers, but the fingerless gloves do break up the blue nicely. Okay, time to finish it with the photo shoot. Unlike Bucky, she looks amazing in photos. There's just the right amount of shine to the blue. It has this nice satin look to it, making it look like an actual wearable suit of armor. Because of the way her shoulder pads are molded, I'm gonna avoid raising her arms too much. I don't want the paint on her shoulders to get scraped off. Fortunately, Captain Marvel is quite photogenic. Sometimes, extra effort is needed to make the poses look natural, but I don't have that issue here with this figure. She looks natural in so many poses. In general, female figures are harder to balance due to the smaller feet and the way the legs bend. I find Captain Marvel relatively easy to balance. Not a lot of female figures can stand like this, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, this is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more Marvel Legends content. I'll be doing Thor figures real soon. And as always, stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.